During the next half hour, we'll hear from people and ministries that benefit from the annual Catholic Appeal. We'll take you to the inaugural Mass for St. Joseph Chapel at the Our Lady of Guadalupe Shrine. We'll show you highlights from the ordination ceremonies of both our deacons and our new priests. And we'll get an inside look at how pastors are selected for parishes across the Archdiocese. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
The Archdiocese of Chicago is a vibrant and diverse faith community. We celebrate our faith through worship, evangelization, and reaching out to the needy. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Hello, I'm Todd Williamson, Director of the Office for Divine Worship for the Archdiocese of Chicago. Cardinal Blaise Cupich isn't with us in the studio today, but we'll hear from him in a couple of the videos we're featuring in this program, including this first one. The video involves the annual Catholic Appeal, how the donations are used, and a heartfelt thanks from the people and ministries that benefit from your kindness. Let's take a look.
My brothers and sisters in Christ, greetings from St. James Chapel here at the Quigley Center. I want to take a moment to personally thank you for supporting the annual Catholic Appeal. Your gift helps our parishes, our schools, our religious education programs, and the many ministries of the Archdiocese that protect life and promote peace and justice. Thousands of people benefit from your support of the annual Catholic Appeal. A few of them would like to express their gratitude directly.
Thank you so much for your contributions to the annual Catholic Appeal.
We depend upon your generosity with over 76,000 students in 214 Catholic schools. We deliver an excellent education rooted in the faith.
About a year ago, I graduated from Mundelein Seminary and was able to be formed as a priest there because of your generous contributions. Thank you for supporting vocations to the Archdiocese through the annual Catholic Appeal.
We've been able to really grow our holiday food pantry that we do. The people were very welcoming. They were really thankful that we were able to do this. In one of our years, we even gained 2 parishioners from our outreach. And so we're thankful, so thankful to be able to do this as one of our outreach services in this community and in this neighborhood.
Renew My Church is opening new doors of collaboration among parishes, calling people to faith, especially a new generation of young people. We are redoubling our efforts to be a field hospital that brings the healing and hope of Christ to people on the margins of society. This is only possible thanks to your support of the annual Catholic Appeal.
Every day in my ministry here in the Archdiocese of Chicago, I see the difference annual Catholic Appeal makes to the life of thousands of people across this Archdiocese. Your support enables us to provide formation, evangelization, and outreach ministries to thousands of people across Lake and Cook County. Thank you for your support.
We bring Jesus and the Word of God to thousands each year throughout the Archdiocese. This is made possible through our catechetical classes. We touch the hearts and lives of children and adults in every parish, archdiocesan-wide. We thank you and ask the Lord to continue to abundantly grace you.
The appeal not only supports those in the Archdiocese of Chicago, it also helps people in need around the entire world. Through Catholic Relief Services, your gift brings hope to individuals whose lives have been devastated by natural disasters, illness, wars, and famine.
Catholic Relief Services is one of the greatest relief and development agency of the Catholic community that is doing this so well around the world, reaching out to 121 million people in 112 countries around the world, bringing hope, love, and compassion on your behalf. I am a recipient myself, but on behalf of myself and all these people, I want to say Thank you for your support. You're really making a difference in the world and in the lives of individuals, families, and communities.
Please know that your generosity makes a significant difference in the lives of so many. Thank you for partnering with me in doing the work of God through the annual Catholic Appeal. I am personally grateful for your generosity, and I pledge that I will keep you, your family, and loved ones in my prayers.
To see that video again and to find out more about the annual Catholic Appeal, go to archchicago.org and click on Annual Catholic Appeal. Cardinal Blaise Cupich recently ordained 19 permanent deacons for the Archdiocese of Chicago during Mass at Holy Name Cathedral. Deacon Richard Hudzik, vicar for deacons for the Archdiocese, explains the vital role that deacons play in the Catholic Church.
A deacon is a minister, he is a member of the clergy, he's ordained. His primary mode of life is to serve as an icon of Christ the servant. It's a big call. We do it with humility because so often we fall so far short of that. But when the deacon orients his life to that ideal of being a servant, it's then that which animates what he does. So the deacon has three gifts, three charisms. He serves he serves at the liturgy. He serves through the ministry of the word, and he serves through the ministry of charity. So he's at the altar, he teaches, and he also looks for the marginalized and serves those who need help in some dimension. There is a commitment of the family. The family participates in terms of blessing and empowering the father, the husband, to go out and serve the ministry. So they're involved very much. There'll be a deacon at the Mass, there'll be preaching, baptisms, there'll be officiating at wedding ceremonies, any of the variety of liturgical services that we have in the church. The deacon can have a role in that. There's also a deacon is largely often going to be seen working in the RCIA programs, in Bible studies, in youth ministry, being with the people and attempting to teach the fullness of the faith. The third area that the deacon is going to be in is the ministry of charity. So the deacon may be involved in soup kitchens, the food pantry, the homeless shelter, 12-step programs. A group of our deacons travel around the country doing repair and rehabilitation following hurricanes and floods and that sort of thing. So there, all three areas is what ideally a deacon is going to be involved in. I was ordained in 1998, and now 20 years on, each day there's an unfolding of the mystery, the grace that God has given us. So it's immensely gratifying, and I guess you could say it only gets better with the richness of experience.
Congratulations to all our newly ordained deacons, and our thanks to all the deacons who serve at parishes throughout the Archdiocese. Now, let's head to the northwest suburbs, to the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Des Plaines. That was the site of the inaugural Mass for St. Joseph Chapel. The new chapel is located on the grounds of a former gymnasium and has a seating capacity of 1,100. The Very Reverend Ezekiel Sanchez, rector of the shrine, describes the importance of the chapel to the shrine's faith community.
The community has been here since 1986, and it wasn't established as a shrine until 2013 by Cardinal George. I came in 2016, and from there the community was all very, very anxious to begin to set up and begin to build a worship space that is worthy of the celebration of the Eucharist. Before, people would be in this former gym where they would send up 1,200 chairs, set it up and take it down every Sunday. It was a lot, it was labor intensive. And so the community just really needed a place to stay. Over 7,000 people come visit this place on any given Sunday. And so we are inaugurating, which is different than consecrating, which is we consecrate when all the new altars and all the liturgical pieces are there, all the new ones, so we still have a little bit to go. But the building's ready. The building's ready to be used for worship, and that's what we're doing today. It's dedicated to St. Joseph primarily because the church currently is involved in the new evangelization. And one of the things that we see very clearly is that the human family needs to be a family. And so St. Joseph is the patron saint and defender of families, as well as the patron saint and defender of the universal church. So coming to the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe and dedicating this to St. Joseph is almost our way of guaranteeing that whatever we speak about God through Mary, whatever we speak about faith, it's strongly supported through our intercession to St. Joseph and Our Lady of Guadalupe. This is very much a community project, very much the small nickel and dime people, but they've been able to raise $4.6 million because of their commitment to trying to do it. Now there's more things that we have to do, parking lots and other things, but this is just the beginning, and it's a real shot in the arm. It's a real shot in the arm. It's a very beautiful place. They look forward to being here, and we look forward to serving.
It's great to hear from Father Zeke and to see what's going on at the wonderful faith community of the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And we have much more to report on. Let's turn to Al Castillo for a trip around the Archdiocese.
18 teachers, administrators, and staff members from Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic Schools receive Heart of the School Awards. They are selected based on outstanding contributions to the schools and the students they serve. Cardinal Blaise Cupich joins Loyola Medicine doctors, nurses, and chaplains at a news conference to support sensible gun laws.
Here at Loyola, our emergency department treated 283 gunshot victims in fiscal year 17, nearly double the number from 2015. Gun violence is a public health epidemic in America.
Father Tony Pizzo, pastor at St. Rita of Cascia Parish, dedicates a new shrine to Our Lady of Guadalupe on 62nd Street and Fairfield Avenue in Chicago. Father Pizzo says parishioners hope the shrine is a beacon of light in a community that has experienced gang violence. Cardinal Cupich is on hand to discuss Pope Francis following a screening of the film Pope Francis, A Man of His Word.
Well, I think that his leadership style is, as he said here, that he wants priests. He said, don't talk so much, listen more. You know, really, he's mentioned that whenever I go in to see him, he wants to listen to what I have to say. And he does that with people as well. He does listen, but he listens not just individual, but to the cry of people whose voices are not heard, whose voices are marginalized. I think he has a real sensitivity to that, where he wants to make sure that the world hears the voices of people who are otherwise ignored.
You can see the entire conversation about the Pope on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. I'm Al Castillo, reporting for Catholic Chicago.
Thanks, Al. We ask our viewers to stick around. In a moment, we'll visit with the person who heads up the Priest Placement Board for the Archdiocese. Back in a moment.
We have great news about Catholic education from two of the best-known Catholics in the Chicago area, Cardinal Cupich and Sister Jean.
I'm here with Sister Jean in a Catholic school classroom, and Sister, we have something in common.
Oh, Cardinal, we each have a bobblehead.
Well, actually, Sister, I was going to say that we both benefited from Catholic schools and were taught by the sisters.
Oh, yes, we were, and it was the best education, faith, values, and how to love people of all backgrounds.
Unfortunately, many parents can't afford to send their children to Catholic schools, but now there's hope. A new tax credit scholarship program here in Illinois offers scholarships based on need, so students can attend a school of their choice.
My scouting report helped the Loyola Ramblers this year, and my scouting report on a tax scholarship is that donors will get a 75% state tax credit.
Sister Jean, that's a win-win for donors and for students who get the gift of a Catholic education.
Speaking of a win-win, I think we should both have our own bobbleheads.
Now, Sister, that's what I call a slam dunk.
To find out how to donate and get your tax credit, go to archchicago.org and click on Tax Credit Scholarships. Thank you for supporting Catholic education.
Welcome back to Catholic Chicago. Joining me in studio is Father Mike Notek, who is the Executive Secretary for the Priest Placement Board for the Archdiocese. Father Mike, welcome.
Thank you. Good
It's
to be here.
Good to have you here. You and I, this is not a first meeting. We've known each other for years, so I'm glad to have you with us.
Great.
Listen, you just got some new material to work with, as it were.
Yes, thank God.
8 newly ordained priests for the Archdiocese. You had a hand in working out what parishes they would go to for their first assignments. So you know the men.
I do.
They're a great group.
They're a very good group. Yeah, we're blessed. It's a sign of our vitality as an archdiocese.
Before our taping, you made a point of a little bit of trivia about them. They're all from different countries?
Well, most of them. Yeah, most of them are from different countries, which, as you can imagine, to leave your family and your familiar surroundings to come here, completely pull up roots. You know, that's a real sacrifice, but a sign of their zeal.
Yeah, to come here and to give of their lives in a land that's not their own.
Right.
It says an awful lot about them.
It does.
We have video from the ordination, which includes some words from each of the 8 men who have, as you say, given up so much to come here. Let's take a look at it here.
Gratitude. That's what I feel. That's what is in my heart. First of all, to God and to everyone that has been involved in my vocation. And I mean, for day I'm here, and that's right. That's all that is in my heart right now.
Right now, my mind is flying because it is a big dream that I wanted to have many years ago. Right now, I remember my mother. My mother died one year ago, and my father 12 years ago. This great motivation, this is great ordination to me is for them.
So it's something that I have been waiting for 14 years since I joined the seminary, and it's amazing to see my family here, a lot of friends, and it's a huge blessing for me. I think that the moment of the prostration is a moment when you are very humble, that you realize that you are nothing and depend completely on God. So I think that's the most touching part.
It fills my heart with so much joy that this is a day that I've been preparing for 8 years. And I thought of the promise I made, the 5th promise, that consecrate my life to God for the salvation of all people. And that's what my life is about, and I wouldn't want it to be about anything else. I remember laying on the floor there on the marble, just asking the Lord to make me a saint and make me a martyr, that I want to be entirely His.
I remember giving out communion and really being moved, seeing so many of people from my home parish, and how they've been so instrumental and formative on for me on my journey towards priesthood. So it was really a moving moment to see how all these people who have really played an instrumental role were here to celebrate today with me, and I felt very grateful. Laying on of hands, just to really allow the Holy Spirit to enter, and just to know so many brother priests are here with us to support us, and to also to welcome us into the presbyterate. It's certainly a very moving experience.
Oh my God. Well, I'm excited. This is a great responsibility, but at the same time, I want to serve people. I want to be with them, to serve, to celebrate the sacraments with them.
Karol Supich is a person who really loves people, and he has been here in Chicago, and he has been creating all this Renew My Church project. He has been close to seminarians, looking for vocations, helping the priests. So he's a great mentor for me, and I really look forward to work with him as my bishop. So I'm very excited to work with media, with children, with the school, with youth, whatever the Lord sends me to work with.
Oh, it was very worth it, and
Believe me, I've been in the seminary for 9 years, and I was just waiting for that moment to happen. And finally, this moment happened. And to be honest, I am very, very joyful and happy to be a priest of Jesus Christ.
Wow. A lot of excitement.
Yes.
A lot of genuine care in these eight men who are newly ordained.
Yeah.
So, Father Mike, for the priest placement board, for those men, for all the priests in the Archdiocese, just for our viewers, maybe explain a little bit about what the priest placement board is.
Well, the priest placement board is, there are 9 priests on it, including myself. 8 of them are full-time pastors, and then my full-time ministry is working with the priests on advising Cardinal Supich on where each priest in the Archdiocese should be stationed or appointed for his ministry. So, as you could imagine, that takes a lot of prayer, a lot of discernment, a lot of conversation, because we don't want to, just put people somewhere. We want to match their skills and talents with the need of a specific parish.
Talk a little bit more about that, because it's not just that you throw a dart at a dartboard. That's the joke.
A lot of people think
exactly.
so.
But this is a prayerful process, isn't it?
It is, and it requires a lot of soul searching. And then it requires a lot of hard work on our part, because especially for the newly ordained, they have to start out in a really, vibrant parish to get the best example of parish with a pastor who's going to be a strong mentor for them.
I would think that would be terribly important. This is where they will learn how to be pastors, how to be priests in a parish setting. Yeah.
So we look at their individual skills and talents, and we have to kind of, pay attention to, for instance, language is a big one. So if there's a need for Spanish speaking, Polish, and other languages, and at the same time, they oftentimes want to balance, between that and the percentage of people in the parish that are of a particular ethnicity, and in general. So it's not necessarily that a Hispanic priest always goes to a Hispanic parish. There could be other reasons why. Even though he speaks Spanish and they don't have a Spanish Mass there are certain gifts he can give and certain things he can learn.
Yeah,
depending,
as you say, on the needs of the community.
Right.
That I think that is key to really finding the best fit, right? And knowing the gifts of the men who are being placed. Now, this isn't just for newly ordained.
No, it's a different process. So for pastors, it's a very different process. For pastors, first of all, we meet with the pastor to talk to him about how he feels the Lord is calling him to serve in the future. So he may say, I feel comfortable in a parish very similar to the one that I've come from. Or he can say, I'm looking for something different. It might be, I'm ready for something a lot bigger.
Right.
Or he may say, I was at a huge mega parish, and I think next time I want a smaller parish. It could be something that he has certain gifts, for instance, for language or whatever it is, that haven't been utilized yet, and he wants to utilize those skills. And again, we encourage him to talk to his spiritual director, talk to his good friends, to talk to the people in the parish that he's at now, because they know him well, and to say, where would you feel God is calling me, to serve in the future?
Really?
Yeah.
The involvement of the people in this process then is probably more than many people think.
It's very important. And so what we do when we're looking to place a new pastor, we go to the parish and we have 3 meetings. First, it's myself, a member of the priest placement board, and then the local vicar bishop and the dean, usually. And we go to the parish, we have 3 meetings. The first is with the staff. The second is with the parish leadership, so that's the parish council, finance committee. And then in the evening, we have a town hall meeting for anybody who would like to come. And we ask 3 basic questions of those groups. 1, what are the strengths of your parish? What's going really well here? Number 2, what are the particular unique challenges of your parish? Every parish has challenges. And then number 3, what are the specific skills needed in your next pastor? So, what was needed in the parish even 10 years ago
might not be the
might
same.
not be the same now because things change, you know. So it's very important to pay attention to that. And some people are skeptical about those meetings. You know, they think this is just for show or to make it look like, but we really do depend on that. And we give out forms so that people can even bring it home, think about it, and mail it back to us. And, you know, we spend several months poring over that input because nobody knows better about a parish than the people of God.
Yeah.
And so the priests can't pick where they're going to serve, but we want them to have input. So they're encouraged to go to the parish and talk to the present pastor who's going to be leaving, to talk to the staff, to talk to the parish council, the finance committee people, and to talk to people at the Archdiocese about, you know, the vitality of the parish. We always say whatever's working well on the parish, the next guy has to keep that momentum up.
Yep.
Okay. And then there may be things that need attention. Well, who's going to have what it takes to be able
the
to
gifts?
Yeah, to take on those challenges and not be overwhelmed by them, but to be able to, you know, head those challenges and do something with them.
Yeah,
you know, overcome
to
them.
meet them, to resolve them in a life-giving way for the
Exactly.
parish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not. This process then really is. It's a long process,
It
and
is.
it's not entered into lightly.
No, it's not.
Well, that's a wonderful ministry that you give to the Archdiocese. It's terribly important, and you rely on those other 8 pastors.
Mm-hmm.
So that they have to have a good sense of the Archdiocese, of the parishes.
Exactly, because they're accompanying these priests, and they're also available to go out to the parishes and talk to the people. And
I like that. They accompany. There's an awful lot of talk about accompaniment these days. The Pope talks about accompanying those who are on the margins, accompanying those who are in the process of getting married. It's nice to hear that our priests are accompanied as well.
Yeah, you know, in the old days, priests really didn't get a choice about where they were going to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what determined where they were going to go. And it's very different now, and it has to be.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the most satisfying parts about this ministry for me is to walk with priests and have them share with me, you know, the calling that they have and what comes out of their prayer life for how God wants them to serve. And some of it can be painful too, you know, because they may have had a rough go at it, or they may be feeling inferior in certain ways. So the other part that we're really getting better at in the last few years is to, if a priest has certain areas of ministry that aren't strong for him, then we're connecting him to resources whereby he can get better at that.
Yeah.
You know, as Cardinal Supich likes to say, the pastoral center is a service center for pastors. So it's not the place that just says, you know,
it's not just
make sure they're towing
bureaucracy,
the line.
right?
Yeah, or bureaucracy.
Right.
But to say, how can we help pastors effectively minister in their parish? And pastorally as well as administratively.
It strikes me that you would do that well. A vitally important ministry in the Archdiocese of Chicago. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for this time. It's nice to have you. You've been watching Catholic Chicago. I'm Todd Williamson. We'll see you next time on Catholic Chicago.
We invite you to watch segments of Catholic Chicago and hundreds of additional Catholic videos at youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter.